Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be the long awaited part 11 of my reacting to your period horror stories series. I am so sorry that it has taken me so long to sit down and film the next part of this. School is just busy, college app season was insane. As you can tell, I've lost all motivation, not wearing any makeup. I'm extremely tired, but I've missed doing this series on my channel, so I wanted to film the 11th part of this series. That's actually crazy that there's 11 parts now. We're coming up on 15. That's pretty crazy. 7 months ago, I posted for you guys on my community tab, hey guys, here's the post for you to leave your period horror stories for part 11 of my reacting to your period horror stories series on my channel. Comment any crazy, embarrassing, insane, and or funny period horror stories for me to react to in part 11. I can't wait to read them. All of the other parts of this video that I have done in the past will be linked down below. And the day that this video is going up, there will be another community tab posted on my community tab. I don't know what I just said. I think that was right. For you guys to leave your stories for me to do in a part 12. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's because we did have over 300 submissions this time around. But if I don't get to yours in this video, just wait until the next time around and post yours there for a chance for me to read yours in the next video. And also just a little quick reminder that I am doing a fundraiser for the Alliance for Period Supplies to help people in period poverty. And if you want to donate, it would mean a lot to me, and the link will be down below. And with that said, let's get into reading your period horror stories. I'm terrified. Okay, so this story happened today. So it was day 6 of my period. So I thought surely all I should need was a liner since my period was basically gone by this point. That was your first mistake. I went to the bathroom at lunch around 11:30 to make sure I hadn't leaked, and I hadn't. The liner was actually clean, so I decided that I should just leave it on until I left school. So after school, I normally walk to the McDonald's down the road because it is on the way to my house, but of course on this occasion I didn't because I had to go home to get ready for a sleepover. When I was about 10 minutes away from my house, I felt something dripping down my leg. And then I saw I had blood dripping down my leg, and it was all over the path behind me for as far as I could see. So you literally left a bloody trail. As I was stopping to look at my leg, I was literally making a puddle on the floor. That is a heavy period. So I had to walk the rest of the way home with blood dripping down my leg. Then when I got home, I had to wash my whole outfit, and my once pink underwear that I thought it was safe to wear are now stained for life. RIP to that pink underwear. And also, I'm just so sorry because that actually sounds traumatic to look behind you and there is a bloody trail. That sounds like something out of a horror movie. So it was my 14th birthday and I had invited some friends over. I was on my period and we were supposed to spray the trampoline with the hose in our swimsuits to cool off. That sucks that you're on your period on your birthday. I had just gotten some period underwear to put underneath my swimsuit so I wouldn't leak, but I forgot I had been wearing them throughout my whole period. So all the blood that had been collecting in the period underwear flooded all over my legs and they got wet. One of my friends said, "Ew, did you sit in dirt or something?" When she saw the back of my pants, I quickly turned to my best friend who knew I was on my period. So real. That's such a best friend thing. And asked her if I had bled through, and she said, look at your legs. I looked down and oh my goodness, blood everywhere. I was so embarrassed, but my friends were so understanding. What a fun birthday present. Why? Like, I swear, when you put together a period, water, trampoline, something like that is going to go wrong. But that's really sweet about your friends. I love hearing stories like that. I had my period when I was dog sitting for my boyfriend's family when they went away on vacation. They have a small white dog. And I didn't realize I just got my period, so I was playing with the dog, and don't ask me how, but the poor white dog got covered in my period blood. It was the last day and my boyfriend's family was coming home and I got the dog clean, but it took a lot of work. They noticed a spot I missed and I was speechless and I was too embarrassed to tell them about it. They're still mystified about how there was a stain on their dog and they no longer trust me. They no longer, well, okay, you should tell them because like low-key, if they're like good people, they'll laugh about it. But yeah, like if there's a mysterious stain on their dog, I would be a little like that, like they're acting if they don't know it's literally your period. That is actually crazy. Of course the dog was white. So I was at my 5th grade graduation in a yellow dress. It's like periods like have eyes and can see what you wear. I knew I had my period because I had started it the day before, but I thought I would be fine since I had a tampon plus period underwear on. I had screamed for all my friends as they walked down and felt a gush. I thought it would be fine because again, period underwear and tampon. Yeah, you were super covered. Once the ceremony was over, I had got up to walk back to class. Of course, I was at the very front of the line so everyone could see I had a river's worth of blood on my light yellow dress. The worst part was there was a boy behind me and my mom said she could see it from the audience. That must have been a big stain. Luckily, one of my best friends always has a hoodie with her, so she let me borrow that. I was mortified, but there was only one more day of school left, so I decided to go. Of course, there was a pool party that day with my whole grade, but I didn't leak through it that, thank the Lord. Okay, bad luck, bad luck, bad luck. I was at my aunt's wedding and I was a flower girl, so I wore a white dress. I think you know where the story is going. This video seems to have a theme. Well, I ended up getting my period that night and I wasn't sure what it was, so I ran to my mom crying, screaming in front of almost the entire wedding. I'm dying. So immediately my mom comes over and helps me and says, what's the matter? And I said, I'm bleeding. And she goes, where? And I said, from my down there area. Of course she helps me and all we could find was a super tampon. So basically for my first period, I had to wear a super tampon. And the worst part was it wasn't even in right, so I was in pain the entire wedding, not to mention the red stain on the back of my white dress. That is absolutely horrible. And of course, weddings white, your period just decides to come then. Once upon a time, love the beginning, I was babysitting my youngest cousin. At the time the story happened, she was 5. It was around Christmas time, so I totally had a lovely Christmas, but I was babysitting her at my house and was on day 2 of my period, and it just so happened to be my heaviest period ever, and my mom had set up all the decorations and stuff for Christmas, including a brand new white carpet, so I was playing with my cousin on the white carpet, emphasis on white, you know it's not gonna be good, and it just so happened that I leaked through, so when I got up, not only was my younger cousin terrified, but my dog was having one heck of a good time on the carpet, and my dog was rolling in the blood. My dog still has a little stain, and my cousin is still traumatized. That is absolutely the worst combination of everything I could ever think of. Here's mine. It's pretty chaotic. Okay, so it was the last day at camp about a month ago and I was sharing a cabin with a few of my friends. I also wasn't expecting my period for at least another 9 days. Mine are still pretty irregular, so YOLO. But then came the time to get up and start to get ready. Keep in mind that my bed was in the very middle of the room with no bunks and I was the first one to get up. Once I got up, everything came down. I audibly gasped and looked down and there was a clot laying on my bed. Thankfully, my PJ pants were right there beside me, so I slid those on and covered the stain on my bed with my blankets and went outside to go to the drop toilets. When I got there, sure enough, I stained my favorite light blue PJ shorts that I got in Australia earlier this year. When I got back into the cabin, I knew that at least 2 of my friends saw the giant stain, but whatever, I don't really care besides my favorite shorts being ruined. Anyway, fast forward to the day camp ended. I was staying with my friend at her grandma's house for the week after that since the camp was across the country from my house. And I now decided that this was going to be the first time I put in a tampon. So I finished my shower and got out to sit on the toilet and I realized I left a freaking blood trail on her grandma's white tile floor. What is it with blood trails and white in this video? So I had to clean that up and put in the tampon. It was way easier than I thought, unrelatable. And for the rest of the day, we just chilled at home. But then the time obviously came that I had to change the tampon, but there was not a single garbage can in that bathroom, so I had to take my wrapped up bloody tampon and put it in the kitchen garbage. Then later her grandma was taking out the trash and she dropped it. And of course my tampon fell out. She started screaming at the top of her lungs and yelling my friend's name. You are way too young to use tampons, they can kill you, whose is this? And we both walked into her dangling it by her fingers. And I had to tell her it was mine. That is like the most chaotic period horror story I have ever read. That's like just a series of bad luck. That all just blew my mind. I am so sorry. I can't even imagine going through that. This is my first period story. This just happened, so let me tell. I live in England and for my vacation, my parents said we should go to Wales. I got up in the morning, felt fine, got dressed, but I didn't go to the toilet. Big mistake. We got in the car and drove about 7 hours to Wales. Road trip, car, being in a car for a while. At our food breaks, I thought I felt something, but I didn't think anything of it. As we arrived at the caravan site, I sat onto the bed since I was exhausted. I realized I had left a big red mark. I panicked and obviously checked my underwear since I'd been prepared for this day because of this channel. I love you. Oh, that makes me like so happy and like shocked to hear. And yep, it came, and since I was on holiday for 4 days, my period was there the whole time, so I couldn't even go swimming. And the worst part is I left some blood on the seat of the rental car. Imagine someone else like thinking that they got their period because they saw your stain. That would be, that's bad. I was at my dad's house, yes, divorced parents, and this was this year, 15 years old. My dad had wanted to take us swimming at a nearby beach/lake. I had been all ears, but then realized I was on my period. Me not wanting to bring up the embarrassing topic, went along with the ride and decided that I would improvise. I hadn't learned to use a tampon yet. I was scared too. So right then and there, I decided I wanted to learn to put a tampon in by myself. I had only 3 tampons, which I was given the same year, 9th, during our last health program. I thought back to the videos we were shown, but my memory was wiped. I just decided to go for it, and my first try wasn't that bad. However, it did feel like I was a proud mother constantly giving birth to a jellyfish. While we were in the car, my tampon string was poking slightly out of the bikini line of the bathing suit, and my dad, just trying to be helpful, says, "You got a string, let me get that." To which he violently pulls out my tampon in front of all my brothers. He sits there not even knowing whether to apologize or to throw up. I immediately yell at my dad in embarrassment. Okay, you must have been embarrassed, but like imagine how he felt. That is absolute, I'm speechless. Alright, so this happened 3 days after I got my first ever period, and it was heavy on day 3. So I went to the bathroom to go number 2. It was painful, OMG. Okay, yeah, I know this is so TMI, but like doing that on your period, I get that. The pain, the cramps, it's like not normal. And I heard a loud scream while I was changing my pad from my 5-year-old sister who didn't know what a period was. Well, I bet she did after that. My mom knocked on the door and told me there was blood on the floor, and I thought, you know, it probably wasn't that much, but no, there was a trail of blood from my bedroom all the way to the bathroom. I screamed and started bawling. bawling my eyes out, but my mom was super supportive and cleaned it up for me. Like, when it's discovered by someone else, like, it's bad enough if it's stained, but then if your 5-year-old sister has to see that, I am so sorry. Period horror story slash first tampon story. Oh god. Keep in mind while you read this that it was only my second period ever. So I was 12 and I had a dance competition. The morning of the first day of the competition, I woke up and started my period. I was so terrified because obviously you don't want to be dancing on stage with your period. We hadn't gotten the costumes for one of our dances because they took too long to deliver, so my dance teacher was going to bring them to the competition and give them to us there. So I had no idea what the costume looked like. All of my other costumes were pants, so I was just going to wear a pad and call it a day. However, my dance teacher gave us the costumes, and of course, just with my luck, it was a white leotard. Of course it was. So I went and got my mom, and she was trying to teach me how to use a tampon, and I was like crying on the other side of the door. So after like what felt like forever of my mom and my friends teaching me, I finally got it in. So we go on stage and my tampon string was hanging out of my white leotard while I was on stage, and the whole audience saw it. I was literally crying after that day. Okay, my thoughts are though, like, if the leotard was white, a tampon string is white, maybe they just thought it was a string hanging out of your leotard. I am so sorry. So this was my first period and I was only 9 in 4th grade, so it was scary. Yeah, getting your period like at a young age like that, it must be really scary. But my mom had already explained what a period was to me, so I was prepared, at least I thought. I was in school and it was the end of the day. I had just started cleaning up when I felt really bad cramps, but I thought it was just my stomach issues again, real. But then it started to hurt more and more, so I told my best friend and she said that it might be my period. That made me really paranoid, but I tried not to think about it. But once school was out and I was walking home, I felt it. I looked down and I saw blood all over my gray sweatpants and white Converse. How did it get on your shoes? RIP. And to make things even worse, these 2 girls who were my bullies were right behind me. At this point, I was walking really fast to get home because I couldn't run. If you know, you know. But once these girls noticed, they caught up to me and started whispering to each other and giggling. When I got home, my mom got me a bunch of period products and we ate chocolate and watched movies for the rest of the day. That's so sweet. But when I got to school the next day, I found out that these girls took pictures of me and my bloodstained self and showed it to everyone around the school. So that's like not okay. Those girls are not demonstrating like human decency. I'm really concerned for who they are as individuals. Wow, that is awful. That's only a period horror story because they were jerks. Like, that's horrible. It's really sweet about your mom though. I just don't get when girls make fun of other girls for having your period. Like, are we not on the same team here? Okay, so I was on a school trip to Chicago and we were going to Six Flags. When we got there, I met up with my boyfriend and we went on rides together. We went on this one really fun ride, and when I stood up, there was a pool of blood in the seat and all over my white shorts. We had to get the worker to help clean it up, and my boyfriend gave me his jacket to cover up, but it was still so embarrassing because they had to close the ride for a while. So one day it was twin day at school, so me and my friend were going to match. So the plan was to wear white shorts and a blue tank top. So I went to school in my outfit and I was walking to the lunchroom with my friends and my crush and his friends. By the way, my crush was kind of clueless about periods. Anyway, there was like 10 of us and they were walking behind us, and honestly I didn't think anything of it until one of the boys started snickering and laughing, and when I asked what's funny, they pointed at my shorts and there was a huge red blood stain on my pants. I was so embarrassed and surprised because I hadn't felt anything, and one of my friends stood there and started laughing with the boys, which was low-key kind of fake. By the way, did end up dropping her. Okay, good. While my other friends were trying to defend me and help me, and honestly I just stood there in shock because I was so embarrassed. Anyways, so I ended up getting some pads and my mom bought me a pair of new shorts to wear. So yeah, well, nothing like a great public humiliation to make for a great period horror story. And the last story I'm going to read is this one because it just looks just so perfect to be a period horror story. So I was at a water park with my sister, grandma, and grandpa, and my grandma went to use the bathroom, so I was left with my grandpa and sister, and that's when I felt something warm, and when I looked down I saw a ring of blood all around me and a teen boy yells, "Shark Week." I was so incredibly embarrassed, and lucky my grandma came back and told me what to do. This was my second period though, so I already knew, but when I went to the bathroom I accidentally walked into the boys' bathroom and I was dripping bloody water and they all looked at me. That is just a string of bad luck. The water park being with your grandparents, the teen boy yelling, walking into the wrong bathroom, the blood dripping all over. I am so sorry that that happened to you. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed part 11 of this series, and I wanted to just give you guys such a big thank you for sticking around for so long to watch all the parts of this series. If you have watched all of the parts, if you haven't yet, then they are linked on my channel. I actually have them all organized in a playlist if you want to go binge that. My heart goes out to every single person who was brave enough to share a period horror story. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry that all of that happened to you. If your story didn't get read in this video, or if you want to submit a period horror story, just go to my community tab and submit yours. Please make sure to like this video, comment down below what your favorite period horror story in this video was, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more period and teen girl content. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye!